Ben Cole was eating breakfast when the message arrived. He sat in his small apartment in San, drinking coffee and watching the morning news. Then his phone rang. The number was blocked, but something told him to answer it. "Mr. Cole," said a voice he did not recognize. "This is Director Palmer from the United Nations Space Contact Division. We need you to come to Geneva immediately." Ben almost laughed. He was a marine biologist. He studied fish and coral reefs. He had nothing to do with space or aliens or any of that, but the voice on the phone was serious. "There must be some mistake," Ben said. "There is no mistake. You have been selected. A car will pick you up in 1 hour." The call ended. Ben stared at his phone for a long moment. Then he finished his coffee and packed a bag. 3 days later, Ben stood inside a building he did not know existed. Deep underground, beneath the Swiss mountains, hundreds of people worked at computer screens and monitoring stations. Director Palmer, a tall woman with gray hair and tired eyes, walked beside him. "6 months ago, an alien probe entered our solar system," she explained. "It scanned Earth and sent a message. The Galactic Council wants to meet us. They have invited humanity to send a representative." Ben stopped walking. "And you picked me. I study dolphins." Director Palmer smiled. "We picked you because you are calm under pressure. You spent 3 years on research vessels in the middle of the ocean. You have published papers that even non-scientists can understand. You know how to explain complex things in simple words. That is exactly what we need." "But I know nothing about diplomacy," Ben said. "We have diplomats. They talk too much and say too little. The council does not want speeches. They want to understand who we are. You can show them." Ben thought about this. It was crazy. It was impossible. But he had spent his whole life studying life on Earth. Maybe that was exactly what made him the right choice. "When do I leave?" he asked. The alien ship arrived 2 weeks later. It was smaller than Ben expected, about the size of a passenger airplane. It landed in a secure area in the Nevada desert, and Ben walked aboard with only one suitcase and a tablet computer filled with information about Earth. His assistant would be Lisa Grant, a young communications officer from NASA. She was smart and quick and did not seem afraid of anything. Ben liked her immediately. The inside of the ship was strange but not uncomfortable. The walls were smooth and white, and the air smelled clean, like a hospital. The alien crew consisted of 3 beings that looked like tall, thin insects with 4 arms each. They introduced themselves, but their names were impossible for human mouths to pronounce. "You may call me Pilot," said the leader. "The journey to Council Station will take 12 of your Earth days." Ben nodded. "Thank you for having us." Pilot tilted his head in a way that might have been curiosity. "You are polite. That is good. Many new species are not polite." During the journey, Ben learned many things. He spent hours talking with Pilot and the other crew members. They were happy to answer his questions, and Ben had many questions. "How many species are part of the Galactic Council?" he asked one day. 217, Pilot answered. "Each represents a world that has developed intelligent life." "That seems like a lot," Ben said. Pilot made a sound that might have been laughter. "The galaxy contains 400 billion stars. 217 intelligent species is very few. Life is rare, human. Most worlds are empty rock and gas. Most stars have no planets at all. And on the planets that do exist, life almost never develops." Ben found this hard to believe. Earth was covered with life. Every ocean, every forest, every desert had creatures living in it. He had spent his career studying just a tiny fraction of Earth's species. "What about your world?" Ben asked. "How much life exists there?" "My world has 3 species," Pilot said. "My people, a type of plant we eat, and a small creature that lives in our soil. That is all." Ben stared at him. 3, only 3. "That is normal," Pilot said. Most council worlds have between 1 and 5 species. Some have more, but not many. Life is precious because it is so rare. That night, Ben lay in his small cabin and thought about what Pilot had said. He had always known that Earth was special, but he had assumed every planet with life would be similar. Now, he was learning that Earth might be very different indeed. Lisa knocked on his door. "Are you okay?" she asked. "I am thinking," Ben said. "On Earth we have millions of species, millions, and these aliens think 3 is normal." Lisa sat down across from him. "Maybe we should not mention that right away. It might confuse them." Ben shook his head. "They asked me to tell them about Earth. I have to be honest. If our world is different, they need to know." On the 12th day, the ship arrived at Council Station. Ben looked out the window and saw the largest structure he had ever seen. It was a massive ring floating in space, with lights covering every surface. Ships of all sizes flew around it like bees around a hive. "This is where the council meets," Pilot said. "Representatives from all 217 species live here. Tomorrow, you will address them." Ben felt his heart beat faster. Tomorrow, he would speak for all of humanity. He would tell them about Earth. He would tell them about his home. He just did not realize yet how much his simple words would change everything. Lisa stood beside him as they watched the station grow larger in the window. "Are you ready?" she asked. Ben smiled. "No, but I do not think anyone could be ready for this." The ship docked with a gentle bump. The door opened, and Ben Cole took his first step into the wider galaxy. He carried with him nothing but his knowledge, his honesty, and the story of a small blue planet called Earth. He had no idea that this story would shock them all. The council chamber was the largest room Ben had ever seen. It stretched out before him like a stadium, with hundreds of seats rising up in circles around a central platform. Each seat held a different alien being. Some were tall and thin. Some were short and round. Some looked like insects, others like fish, and others like nothing Ben could describe. Lisa walked beside him, her tablet computer ready. She looked calm, but Ben could see her hands shaking slightly. "Just breathe," he whispered to her. "We are going to be fine." They reached the central platform. A bright light shone down on them from above, making it hard to see the audience. But Ben could feel hundreds of eyes watching him. A voice spoke from somewhere above. It was translated by a small device in Ben's ear. "The Council recognizes the representative from the planet Earth. You may introduce yourself and your world." Ben cleared his throat. He had practiced this speech many times, but now all the words seemed to disappear from his mind. So he decided to speak simply from his heart. "My name is Ben Cole. I come from a planet called Earth. It is a small world, mostly covered with water. My people have lived there for many thousands of years. We are honored to meet you all." There was a polite silence. Ben could not tell if this was good or bad. The voice spoke again. "The council will now ask standard questions about your world. Please answer honestly." A creature made of what looked like living crystal stood up. Its body caught the light and sparkled like diamonds. "I am High Counselor," it said. "Welcome to the council. Tell us, human, what is the dominant species on your planet?" "Humans are the dominant intelligent species," Ben said. "We have built cities, developed technology, and now we have reached the stars." Nodded. "And what other species share your world?" This was the moment. Ben took a deep breath. "Earth is home to approximately 8 to 9 million different species," he said. The silence that followed was different from before. It was heavy, confused. Ben saw aliens looking at each other. Some were making sounds he did not understand. "I apologize," said slowly. "The translation may have made an error. Did you say 8 to 9 million? "Yes," Ben said. "That is correct. We have millions of different species living on Earth." The chamber exploded into noise. Aliens were standing up, talking over each other, pointing at Ben. The sound was overwhelming. Lisa grabbed Ben's arm. "What did I say wrong?" Ben asked her. "Nothing," she said. "I think you just surprised them." Raised a crystalline hand, and slowly the chamber became quiet again. "Human," said carefully, "I must ask you to explain. Most worlds in this galaxy support between 1 and 5 species. Some exceptional worlds have up to 20. You are claiming that your world has millions. This is unprecedented." An insect-like creature stood up. It was tall and green with sharp mandibles. "I am ambassador," it said, "and I must object. This human is clearly lying to the council. No world can support millions of species. It is impossible." Ben felt anger rise in his chest, but he kept his voice calm. "I am not lying," he said. "Earth has fish and birds and insects and mammals and reptiles. We have creatures that live in the deepest oceans and creatures that fly through the air. We have plants and trees and flowers of every color. We have bacteria so small you cannot see them without special tools. Life on Earth is everywhere." Clicked his mandibles. "Impossible. You expect us to believe that one small planet has more species than all council worlds combined." "I expect you to let me show you the evidence," Ben said. Another alien stood up. This one looked like a large frog with silver skin. Its eyes were huge and curious. "I am Scholar Ra," it said. "I study life across the galaxy. I would very much like to see this evidence. If what the human says is true, this would be the greatest discovery in galactic history." Considered this. The chamber was silent again, waiting. "Very well," the High Counselor said. "Human, you may present your evidence. But I warn you, if you are lying to this council, there will be consequences." Ben nodded. "I understand. Lisa, please send the files." Lisa tapped her tablet. Immediately, a holographic screen appeared above the central platform. The first image showed a rainforest, green and thick, and full of life. "This is one of Earth's rainforests," Ben said. "In 1 square kilometer of this forest, you can find more than 1,000 different species of plants and animals." The aliens watched in silence. The next image showed an ocean scene. Fish of every color swam through blue water. Coral stretched across the sea floor like an underwater city. "This is a coral reef," Ben said. "They are home to about 25% of all ocean species. We have thousands of different types of fish alone." More images appeared. Elephants walking across grasslands, birds flying in formation, insects crawling on leaves, whales swimming through dark water. Scholar Ra had moved closer to the platform. Its silver skin was changing colors in what Ben guessed was excitement. "How?" it asked. "How is this possible? How can one world hold so much life?" Ben smiled. "I do not know exactly, but I have spent my whole life studying Earth's creatures, and I still discover new things every day. We have not even counted all the species yet. There may be millions more we have not found." The chamber was completely silent now. Every alien was staring at the images floating above Ben's head. Ambassador sat down slowly. It said nothing more. High Counselor stepped forward. Its crystal body was glowing brighter than before. "If this evidence is real," it said, "then Earth is not just another planet. Earth is a miracle." Ben looked at the faces around him. He saw shock. He saw wonder. He saw fear. "Earth is my home," he said simply. "To me, it has always been normal, but I am beginning to understand that maybe it is not normal at all." Raised both hands, calling for attention. "This council must investigate immediately. We will send a science team to Earth. We must verify these claims with our own eyes." Ben nodded. "You are welcome to visit. I will guide you myself." The meeting ended. As Ben walked out of the chamber, Lisa grabbed his arm again. "Ben," she said quietly, "I do not think they were ready for this." Ben looked back at the chamber, where aliens were still talking and pointing, and showing each other the images from Earth. "No," he agreed, "I do not think they were ready at all. But they would see soon enough. Earth was waiting to show them everything. The council gave Ben 3 days to prepare more evidence. During that time, Lisa worked without sleep, organizing files and videos and scientific data from Earth. Ben helped her, but he also spent time thinking about how to explain things that he had always taken for granted. On the 3rd day, they returned to the council chamber. This time, the room was even more crowded. Word had spread about the human claims, and aliens from across the station had come to watch. Ambassador stood near the front. His green body was tense, and his mandibles clicked together constantly. He still did not believe. Scholar Ra, however, had brought a team of other scientists. They sat together, holding recording devices and note-taking tools. Their excitement was obvious. High Counselor called the session to order. The human representative will now present additional evidence regarding the biodiversity of his. Ambassador has registered a formal complaint of deception. If the evidence is false, the human will face punishment. If the evidence is true, the crystal being paused. We will discuss what that means. Ben stepped forward. Thank you, High Counselor. I understand your doubt. What I am about to show you seems impossible, but I promise you every piece of evidence is real. He nodded to Lisa, and the holographic display activated. Let me start with something simple, Ben said. Insects. An image appeared showing a collection of beetles. There were hundreds of them, each one different. Some were green, some were blue, some were gold. Some were as small as a grain of rice. Others were as large as a human hand. On Earth, we have over 400,000 known species of beetles alone, Ben said. Beetles, just beetles, not all insects, just this one type of insect. The chamber went silent. We have approximately 1 million known insect species in total, Ben continued, and scientists believe there may be 4 or 5 million more that we have not discovered yet. Stood up, that is more than all the known species in the entire galaxy. Yes, Ben said simply, and insects are just one category of life on Earth. He showed them birds, he showed them mammals, he showed them fish and reptiles and amphibians. Each category had thousands or millions of species. Each image brought more gasps and whispers from the audience. Then Ben showed them something even stranger. Now I want to talk about life you cannot see, he said. The image changed to show a microscope view. Tiny creatures floated across the screen. These are bacteria, Ben explained. They are so small that millions of them can fit in a single drop of water. They live everywhere on Earth, in the soil, in the water, in the air. Scholar Ra raised a hand. How many species of these bacteria exist? Ben smiled. We do not know exactly. Current estimates suggest there may be 1 trillion different species of microorganisms on Earth. We have only identified a tiny fraction of them. The chamber erupted into chaos. Aliens were shouting and standing and waving their limbs. Some looked terrified, others looked amazed. Called for silence, but it took a long time for the room to calm down. 1 trillion, the High Counselor repeated. It is an estimate, Ben said. The true number could be higher or lower. But yes, Earth has microscopic life forms beyond counting. Looked defeated. Even if only 1% of these claims are true, Earth would be the most life-rich planet ever discovered. There is more, Ben said, and this is the part that I think will surprise you most. He changed the image to show a human body. This is a human being. Me actually. Inside my body right now there are approximately 38 trillion bacteria living and working. They help me digest food. They protect me from disease. They are part of me. The alien stared. You have other species living inside you, Ra asked. Living beings inside your body. Yes, Ben said. Every human does. We cannot survive without them. We have a relationship with these tiny creatures. They help us and we give them a home. A tall, plant-like alien stood up. This is symbiosis on a scale we have never imagined. Your species carries entire ecosystems inside your bodies. Ben nodded. We also carry them on our skin and in our mouths. Humans are not individual beings. We are communities of life. The chamber was completely quiet now. Ben could see that he had broken something in their understanding of the universe. How? Asked finally. How did one planet develop so much life? We are still trying to understand that ourselves, Ben admitted. Earth is about 4.5 billion years old. Life has had a long time to grow and change and diversify. Our planet has many different environments. Hot deserts, frozen ice caps, deep oceans, high mountains. Each environment supports different kinds of life. Ra stepped forward. You said you have not discovered all species on Earth. How many do you estimate are still unknown? Scientists believe there may be millions of undiscovered species in our oceans alone, Ben said. The deep sea is still mostly unexplored. Every year we find new creatures. Spoke again, but his voice was different now, softer, almost afraid. Human, if your world is so full of life, how do you survive? How do you not destroy each other? This was the question Ben had been waiting for. We have something called an ecosystem, he said. All life on Earth is connected. Plants grow from sunlight and soil. Small animals eat the plants. Larger animals eat the smaller animals. When things die, their bodies return to the soil and help new plants grow. It is a cycle. Everything depends on everything else. He showed them a diagram of a food web. Lines connected different species in a complex pattern. Life on Earth is not chaos, Ben said. It is balance. Every species has a role. If one species disappears, the whole system can be affected. We are all part of the same web. Looked at the diagram for a long time. This is beautiful, the High Counselor said, and terrifying, such complexity, such fragility. Yes, Ben agreed. That is why we try to protect it. We do not always succeed, but we try. The session ended shortly after. As Ben left the chamber, Ra approached him. I must see this for myself, the scholar said. I must walk on your world and witness these things with my own eyes. Ben smiled and offered his hand. Then come to Earth. I will show you everything. Ra looked at the human hand, then gently took it. Everything, the alien repeated. I am not sure I am ready for everything, but I will try. The investigation team was assembled that very night. In 1 week, they would travel to Earth. And nothing would ever be the same. The alien ship landed in Costa on a warm morning in June. Ben had chosen this location carefully. If he wanted to show the Council scientists the truth about Earth, he needed to start with somewhere special. The investigation team consisted of 5 aliens. Scholar Ra led the group, along with 2 other scientists and 2 security officers. High Counselor had wanted to come personally, but the Council needed leadership during this uncertain time. As the ship's door opened, the aliens stepped out onto Earth for the first time. Ra stopped immediately. The silver amphibian's eyes grew wide, and its skin began to change colors rapidly. The sounds, Ra whispered. What are those sounds? Ben listened. To him, it was just the normal noise of a rainforest. Birds calling, insects buzzing, leaves moving in the wind. But to Ra, it was something else entirely. Those are animals, Ben said. Many different animals, each one makes its own sound. There are so many, Ra said. I can count at least 50 different sounds, and we have not even left this spot. Lisa smiled. Welcome to Earth. They walked into the forest. Ben went slowly, stopping often to point out different creatures. A blue butterfly landed on a leaf. A bright red frog sat on a fallen log. A spider had built a web between 2 trees, and dewdrops on the silk sparkled like jewels. One of the alien scientists, a being made of shifting smoke, stopped to examine the spider web. This creature built this structure, it asked. Yes, Ben said. Spiders make webs to catch food. Each species of spider makes a different pattern. How many spider species exist on Earth? About 45,000 known species. There are probably more. The smoke creature said nothing. It simply stared at the web for a very long time. After 3 hours, they had walked only 200 meters. The aliens needed to stop constantly. Everything was new. Everything was impossible. Ra knelt beside a small stream. Tiny fish swam in the clear water. Water plants grew along the edges. Insects walked on the surface without sinking. This small body of water, Ra said, how many species live in it? Ben thought about it. In a healthy stream like this, probably several hundred. Fish, insects, crustaceans, algae, bacteria, parasites, plants, they all depend on each other. Several hundred, Ra repeated. In this tiny stream, my entire planet has fewer species than this stream. The next day, they went to the ocean. Ben had arranged for a boat to take them to a coral reef. The aliens wore special suits that allowed them to breathe underwater. As they descended below the surface, even Ben felt moved by what he saw. The reef stretched out like an underwater city. Coral of every shape and color rose from the sea floor. Fish swam in schools of hundreds, moving together like they shared one mind. Sea turtles glided past. Eels hid in cracks between the rocks. Octopuses changed their colors to match their surroundings. Ra floated in the water, not moving, just watching. After 20 minutes, Ben swam over to check on the scholar. "Are you okay?" Ben asked through the communication system in their suits. "I have studied life for 200 of your years," Ra said. "I thought I understood what life could be. I was wrong, I knew nothing." When they returned to the surface, one of the security officers was shaking. The tall, insect-like being could not stop trembling. "That place," it said, "so much life, so many hunters and prey, everything eating everything else. How do your people swim in those waters without fear?" Ben laughed softly. "Sometimes we are afraid. The ocean can be dangerous, but it is also beautiful. We learn to respect it." On the third day, Ben took them to meet some land animals. They visited a wildlife reserve where elephants roamed freely. The aliens watched as a family of elephants walked past, the baby staying close to its mother. "They care for their young," Ra observed, "like we do." "Many Earth species do," Ben said. "Birds build nests for their eggs. Wolves raise their pups in packs. Dolphins teach their bobbies how to hunt. Life finds many ways to continue." "And how many of these large animal species exist?" Ben thought about it. Mammals alone about 6,000 species, birds about 10,000, reptiles about 10,000, amphibians about 7,000. Ra's colors were shifting constantly now. Ben had learned this meant strong emotion. "I must ask something difficult," the scholar said. "You mentioned that species can disappear. What did you mean?" Ben's smile faded. "Extinction. When a species dies out completely, it is gone forever. Earth has lost many species. Some disappeared naturally over millions of years. But recently, humans have caused many extinctions. We destroyed habitats. We hunted too many animals. We polluted the water and air." The aliens were quiet. "You killed your own planet's life?" the smoke scientist asked. "Some of it, yes," Ben admitted. "We did not understand what we were doing. By the time we realized the damage, much was already lost. Now we try to protect what remains. We create reserves like this one. We pass laws against hunting. We try to clean our air and water." "You are guardians," Ra said slowly. "Not just inhabitants, you protect your world." "We try," Ben said. "We do not always succeed. But we understand now that every species matters. Every extinction makes Earth a little less alive." On the final day, Ra asked to see one more thing. "Show me something ordinary," the scholar said. "Something your people see every day and do not think about." Ben took them to a park in a small town. Children played on grass. Dogs ran after balls. Birds sat in trees. Ants crawled on the sidewalk. "This is ordinary?" Ra asked. "Yes, this is what a normal day looks like on Earth." Ra looked around at the grass, the trees, the insects, the birds, the dogs, the children. "Nothing about this is ordinary," the scholar said. "Every moment on this planet is a miracle that happens nowhere else in the known galaxy." The investigation team returned to their ship that evening. They carried thousands of hours of recordings, millions of data points, and memories that would last their entire lives. Before boarding, Ra turned to Ben. "I will recommend that Earth receive the highest protection the Council can give," the scholar said. "Your planet is not just important, it is the most precious thing in the galaxy." Ben watched the ship rise into the sky and disappear among the stars. Then he looked around at the ordinary park, with its ordinary grass and ordinary birds. For the first time in his life, he truly saw how extraordinary ordinary really was. 3 weeks after the investigation team returned, Ben received another message. The Galactic Council wanted him back. They had made a decision. Lisa traveled with him again. During the journey to Council Station, neither of them could guess what the decision would be. Would the Council welcome humanity? Would they be afraid? Would they try to take Earth for themselves? "Whatever happens," Lisa said, "we told them the truth. That has to count for something." Ben nodded, but worry sat heavy in his chest. When they arrived at Council Station, everything felt different. Aliens who had ignored them before now stopped to stare. Some bowed their heads. Others moved out of their way quickly, as if afraid to get too close. "They look at us like we are dangerous," Lisa whispered. "Or sacred," Ben replied. The council chamber was full again. Every seat was taken. More aliens stood along the walls and in the doorways. This was the most important meeting in recent galactic history, and everyone wanted to witness it. High Counselor stood at the center of the chamber. The crystal being's body glowed brighter than Ben had ever seen. "Let the human representative approach," announced. Ben walked forward alone. Lisa stayed at the edge of the platform, watching. "Scholar Ra will now present the findings of the Earth investigation," said. Ra rose from the audience. The silver amphibian moved slowly, carrying a weight of responsibility. "Council members," Ra began, "I have spent 200 years studying life in this galaxy. I have visited 93 worlds. I have documented 742 species. I thought I understood life." The scholar paused. "I was wrong." Ra activated a holographic display. Images of Earth appeared, forests and oceans, deserts and mountains, cities and villages, life everywhere. The planet Earth contains more biodiversity than all known worlds in recorded galactic history combined. The humans were not exaggerating. If anything, they understated the truth. Earth is home to millions of large species and possibly trillions of microscopic ones. Every environment on their world supports complex ecosystems. Every ecosystem contains countless connections between species. Life on Earth is not just abundant, it is overwhelming. The council listened in silence. "But there is more," Ra continued. "The humans are not simply lucky inhabitants of this world. They are its guardians. They have made mistakes. They have caused extinctions and damage. But they have also learned from those mistakes. They now dedicate resources to protecting their planet's life. They create protected areas. They study their ecosystems. They fight to preserve what remains." Ra looked directly at Ben. "The humans understand something we have forgotten. Life is not just rare. Life is connected. Every species matters. Every loss diminishes the whole. On Earth, they call this wisdom ecology. I believe the rest of the galaxy needs to learn it." The scholar sat down. The chamber remained silent. Stepped forward. "The council has discussed this matter extensively," the High Counselor said. "We have never faced a situation like this. Earth is unique. The question is what to do about it." An alien that looked like a floating cloud spoke up. Some council members believe Earth should be isolated. Its life is too valuable to risk contact with the wider galaxy. Another alien, tall and covered in scales, stood. Others believe Earth should be studied intensively. We could learn so much from their world. Ambassador rose. The insect diplomat had been quiet since the investigation. Now it spoke with respect in its voice. I was the first to call the human a liar. I was wrong and I apologize, but I must say this. Earth does not belong to us. It belongs to the humans. They evolved there. They depend on it. Any decision we make must respect their rights. Ben felt surprised. He had not expected support from. Raised a crystalline hand. The council has reached a decision, the High Counselor announced. Earth will be designated as a protected heritage world. This is a new classification. It means that no species may harm Earth or its life. No military action may be taken near Earth. No exploitation of Earth's resources is permitted. Ben's heart pounded. Protected. Earth would be protected. Furthermore, continued, humanity is offered a permanent seat on this council, not as newcomers, not as a junior species, as full members with full voting rights. You have earned this position not through military power or advanced technology, but through something more important. You are the guardians of the galaxy's greatest treasure. The chamber erupted into applause. Strange sounds came from all sides as hundreds of species expressed approval in their own ways. Ben stood frozen, unable to speak. Lisa ran forward and grabbed his arm. Ben, say something. He stepped closer to the center of the platform. The applause slowly faded. I am honored, Ben said, his voice rough with emotion. Humanity is honored. We accept this responsibility. We will share our knowledge of life, of ecosystems, of the delicate balance that keeps our world alive. We will learn from you, and we hope you will learn from us. He paused, thinking of home, thinking of the oceans he had studied, the creatures he had spent his life understanding. For most of my life, I thought Earth was ordinary. Now I know it is not. But I also know that this truth carries a burden. We must protect our world better than we have before. We must become worthy of the trust you are placing in us. Approached Ben. The crystal being's body hummed with energy. Human Ben Cole said formally, you came to us as a stranger. You leave as a member of our council. May your world flourish for billions of years to come. The ceremony continued for several hours. Documents were signed. Oaths were taken. Hands and limbs and tentacles were shaken in gestures of friendship. When it was finally over, Ben found himself alone on an observation deck, looking out at the stars. Lisa found him there. You did it, she said. You changed everything. Ben shook his head. I just told them the truth about home. He thought about the blue planet waiting for him across the stars. He thought about its forests and oceans, its insects and elephants, its bacteria and birds. Millions of species, all connected, all depending on each other. I need to go back, he said. I need to see it again with new eyes. Lisa smiled. The ship is ready whenever you are. 2 weeks later, Ben stood on a beach in California. The sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. Waves rolled onto the shore. Seabirds called overhead. Crabs crawled along the sand. A tourist walked past, barely noticing the scenery. Just another sunset, just another beach. But Ben saw everything differently now. He saw the plankton in every wave, the bacteria in every grain of sand, the millions of organisms that made this moment possible. He smiled and felt tears on his cheeks. Welcome home, he whispered to himself. Somewhere among the stars, the Galactic Council was watching. They would study Earth for generations. They would send scholars and scientists, artists and philosophers. They would try to understand how one small planet could hold so much life. But Ben already understood. Life wanted to exist. Life wanted to grow and change and fill every corner available to it. Earth had simply given life the chance to be everything it could be. And now, thanks to a marine biologist who had never wanted to be a diplomat, the whole galaxy knew the truth. Earth was alive. Earth was home. And Earth was the most precious thing in the universe.